Welcome to the Ground Higher podcast. We are on episode 5, and I have with me today Elden Ito. And Elden is not just the founder of RevaComm, but he's also one of the founding members of Ground Higher. So we're going to get into it here, a little bit more about his story, about his company, about Ground Higher and how it's impacted his life, his family, his business. So let's go from just the beginning. Like, tell us a little bit about yourself, born and raised here, and growing up and all of that.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was a founding member of Ground Higher, but I was pretty early.
Yeah.
2006. I think they started somewhere like April of 2006, maybe May, and I joined I think in September, something like that. So
okay, so
I wasn't the first.
So 2-3 months shy of 20 years.
yeah. And Dennis Nakamoto,
right. Dennis
pestered me to keep joining us, so I finally gave in and I did.
Okay,
which was a wonderful thing. But a little bit about me. Local boy, born here and grew up in Kalihi Valley, right? So family of 5 boys.
Wow.
I'm the middle boy.
Yeah.
So I'm the little bit of a black sheep, but
right.
My brothers are all good, and so relatively speaking, I was a little bit of the rebel.
Okay.
I would try to look. I would look at my 2 older brothers, and they were very conservative, right? And so I would always try to make my identity as opposing to them, right? And so maybe thinking about it, maybe that's what formed some of my risk-taking, tolerance for risk-taking early, because I love my brothers. They were always so good older brothers to me. And we love playing together and stuff like that. But being the oldest, the older ones, they take a lot of the parents, learning themselves. Yeah.
Right.
So, so by the time it came to me, I think they can, let him do what he wants.
They already experimented and
something like that. Yeah. And I kept resisting too. So, maybe they gave me a little bit more rope, but, I think it started from really young like that and identifying with, trying to think differently and take a little bit more risk. So looking at it now, maybe that's what started forming my desire to be an entrepreneur. And
well, I could relate to that. I have 2 older brothers as well. So I'm definitely the entrepreneur of the 3.
Oh, yeah.
The first 2 very traditional roles with, HPD, military, school teacher.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, there you go. And then nobody younger than you? You're the youngest?
I'm the youngest.
Oh, you're the baby.
Yeah.
Even
and
worse.
I'm the one who moved out. As soon as I turned 18, I'm like, I'm out of here.
That's kind of what I mean.
The other 2, they stuck around for a long time.
No, that's what I mean. And then you were, the risk taker.
Yeah.
Right? You're willing to take the risk and go out on your own and do that. So that's important. So that's how I grew up. I like to say Upper Kalihi.
or Lower Campus.
And so then I went to Kalihi L, then Doe School, all the good Kalihi schools over there. I had to navigate a lot of challenges, just going around living in Kalihi, right? You knew where to avoid and you knew where it was safe. But even then, you'd be walking and all of a sudden, the bully coming out of the corner, right? And you gotta you just gotta run and hide, or you gotta take it, right? Calm. And there's so much of that going on. My oldest brother, even I remember was at a store and one of the bullies came in, and he pulled out a knife to my brother, held him right on his throat like that, right? Yeah, and it was standing there looking at my brother, thinking, oh man, I'm gonna see my brother bleed to death here today. And eventually the shop owner, convinced him to stop doing that. But stuff like that happens in Kalihi.
So for those who don't know, Kalihi is kind of like this, hard knocks place, right?
Yeah. Supposedly, But there are pockets that are pretty bad. And then I went to Farrington. That's the best high school in the islands. You know that, right?
Number 1. Yeah.
So good. And I learned a lot over there. I learned a lot of street smarts, Went to Farrington, graduated from Farrington. Barely got out of high school, to be quite honest. I started off good. And then I kind of, I think I was just bored,
Okay.
And looking back on it, I was really bored. didn't enjoy classes towards my senior year already. I was surfing, playing guitar, smoking pakalolo with my buddies, right? Playing guitar, all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, oh shoot, we're gonna graduate. I gotta get my stuff together, right? So I barely, I think, graduated. Barely got into UH, right? I tried to get into the business college.
Wow. Okay.
And my grades were so bad that I couldn't get in. So
into Scheidler at UH.
Yeah, the business school. Right?
Yeah,
I applied to get into the business school.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to do business from like 6th grade. I don't know why, but I knew I wanted to be a business owner.
From a young age, you already knew.
From I'd say maybe 6, 7.
That'll be a highlight right
6,
there.
7 grade. yeah, somewhere around there. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was going to get I always looked at my friend, that guy can do mechanical work, I could run the business.
Right.
But anyway, it went on. And then, so I wanted to go into business, but I couldn't get in because my grades were so bad, and my study habits and my discipline was so bad, right? From all that pakalolo and surfing and so, but I got in. So now what I'm gonna do, right? I just started taking core classes, and then.
So this was all at UH.
All at UH.
Okay.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
And my brother Keith was going into graphic design, and when we were growing up, we did a lot of art and that kind of stuff. So I said, oh, that sounds pretty good. So I'll go check them out. And I just decided to go into graphic design because my older brother, right?
Okay.
So followed his footsteps. Long and short of it, I graduated, looked at the market in Hawaii. I said, well, it's like nothing really, what I'm going to do now. And so a bunch of us went up to University of Illinois. There's a professor who came to guest teach at Hawaii, and then he offered us like some partial scholarships. So they went, like about 4 of them went up first. I went up after them, and then I got my MFA from up there. So Master of Fine Arts in Graphic Design.
Okay.
And so
you went up there to go school.
Yeah, to Illinois. Yeah,
wow.
That's the first time being away from Hawaii, and
it's
then
a little bit different, huh?
Going from Hawaii, with the mountains and the sea, and
right.
Partly cloudy skies, and then jump into Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. If you ever been there, no mountains, no sea,
just flat.
And the sky is either all blue or all cloudy, right? Yeah, and it's crazy. The exact opposite of Hawaii you could think of. But and then cold, right? In the winters, it got down to minus. I remember my first winter there. My goodness, it got down to minus 28 degrees without wind.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? There's no wind. It's minus 28. I tried to make a snowball.
Gosh.
And I realized, at that temperature, you can't make a snowball. Did you know that?
No.
It's too cold. It's just so dry, it doesn't pack.
Oh,
right? So I kept trying to make the snowball.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't form. So,
jeez.
Yeah. And I was wondering, I'm the only guy out here. Not even the birds or the animals are out, right?
Gosh.
And then after I told my friends, I said, who are from that area, I said, you crazy. That's you shouldn't be out in that. I didn't know that. Yeah. So anyway, so that's where I went, and I graduated, came back. This is in 88 now. I came back to Hawaii thinking I was going to get married. I had a girlfriend at the time. And then I was going to work for a little while, and I was going to leave to go either Seattle or San Diego, and I did neither. I didn't get married. I didn't go leave the islands. Yeah. What I did do was decide to start the business though.
Okay.
So around, I worked for about 1.5 years for some other local graphic design companies. I found the guys who did a lot of technology. That's what I wanted. I was looking for guys who were using the early Macintoshes. And that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that was very interesting to me to see how the graphic designers who were doing mostly was print, right, and traditional paste up kind of stuff.
Right.
But then I would look for these guys who were using computers to do it instead.
Okay.
And then I remember I saw Eric Wu. He was one of the guys I went to interview with, and Eric was using a lot of Macs.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I want to work there. So he hired me. Worked there for about a year, I think, with Eric.
So was that your introduction to more the tech side of things?
We were doing it. See, we were doing that back in grad school. So I got exposed there.
Yeah.
There was a Mac lab that just formed, and so I was doing a lot of Mac work there. And so when I came back, definitely I wanted to expand that knowledge some more. So I learned a lot. Definitely, I learned a lot about taking designing stuff digitally, but taking that design to the press and the print.
Okay.
There's a whole different process. I don't want to get into it. It's complicated, but everybody was still doing wax boards.
Right. Yeah.
Printing out galleys, pasting up.
Yeah. Right.
I wanted to go straight from what I saw on the computer, to film to the plates.
Yeah.
And we did that. We eventually was the first. I would be taking stuff to the printer, and the printer goes like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
Like,
right.
These are negatives already. You just burn plates.
Yeah.
He goes, they're just so confused. Yeah. But it was fun, right? Because it was
it's innovative.
Innovative.
Yeah.
It was new. He was pushing the envelope.
Right.
So I like doing that, and so that's kind of where that led. And then about a year at Eric's, I felt like I learned a good amount, and so I broke out on my own, and I just set up shop. I was still at home at my parents' house. Yeah. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I was milking my parents. Right?
Well, that's a lot of the generation still today.
Yeah, so expensive, right? In a way. So I was still at home. How old was I at that point? I was 28 years old, still home. Plus, I was paying off student loans and that kind of stuff, right? So that's my excuse.
That sounds like a common story to today.
yeah. 29, something like that. And then the back of our house in Kali had this little enclosed porch, which wasn't being used. So I asked my mom if I can set up stuff over there. So I set up a desk, got my computer under the mango tree, I said, right?
Wow.
So that's where really RevaComm started in Kalihi, Upper Kalihi, my parents' house under the mango tree.
So
1990, it started.
1990, under the mango tree. In the back of Kalihi, in the back of your parents' house, is the founding of RevaComm.
With the roosters crowing.
With the roosters crowing every day.
Kalihi going.
Yeah. That's the birthplace of RevaComm.
That's the real birthplace right there. That's where all the magic started. Yeah. But I started pounding the pavement, calling. I get the phone book, calling everybody, right? And then I slowly got customers. I got some government work, that was steady.
So describe to me a little bit on the kind of work. So was this like for printing, for graphic design?
Yeah, at the time it was mostly all print promotional stuff, brochures,
right.
logos, that kind of stuff. No web yet, no internet, right?
Because
it's still early.
Wasn't a thing yet.
It was it even out yet? I guess, the internet was just academic, right? Academic still.
Right.
And interestingly enough, I think in 1992, I think Mark Andreessen, I don't know if you know who that name. So Mark Andreessen, now he's a world famous venture capitalist, but he was at that time he was a undergrad student at University of Illinois, Champaign.
Okay.
And he was working for the supercomputing lab there as an intern or something, like a really lowly guy.
Yeah.
And the internet was there and growing among the academics. But the academics wanted to keep it academic.
Right.
All right. They didn't want the public to. They wanted to keep it difficult to use. They wanted it difficult as a barrier.
Right.
But Andreessen was there saying, "No, man, it shouldn't be that, right?" And so Mark Andreessen, what I understand in this story was this lowly undergrad now broke a lot of rules, right? In doing that at the supercomputer. It was called. What was the name of the Beckman Institute on the it was a brand new facility, maybe about 5 years old only.
Wow.
And then he was there and he pushed and he did things outside of the box, and he developed what he called a Mozilla. Was it Mozilla? Yeah. No. Mosaic.
Oh, okay.
The Mosaic browser, right? he called it Mosaic. It was the first graphical interface browser
Wow.
ever.
Okay.
Right? He did it
yeah.
on campus, which is my
Right.
alma mater.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm receiving the alumni newsletter and then you hear about stuff like that, right? On the internet. And our buddies are all out now from school and they're working in Chicago and some on the West Coast.
And you're still connected with all of them?
We're still connected. We get together every winter back in Hawaii. My good friend Daryl Sana would host and make a Moroccan meal. And we all go there and smoke cigars like with tough guys, right? And drink some scotch. And then we'd be shooting the bull, right? Talking about what's going on. And he had just left Chicago, left to go to Silicon Valley. And he said, I said, where you at there? Are you at Sun? He said, no, I just left Sun. And I just took a job at this new company called Netscape. And I said, what is that?
Yeah.
He said, oh, it's a startup from University of Illinois alumni with this other venture capitalist from Silicon Valley. And they're taking the Mosaic browser and they're going to make it like a commercial thing. Yeah. And so we had this long dialogue on the internet that one fateful holiday party that we got together. And then I said, and we were thinking, so strategically, we were thinking, oh, we're gonna go all digital. Okay. And multimedia was the big buzz right there. All these indigo machines, these purple machines were coming out of Silicon Graphics. And so all the graphic designers who were thinking ahead, they were purchasing all these indigo machines and trying to do rich multimedia, right? But then what you got to do with the file, you got to still burn them to a CD, to a disc. You got to put them in one mailing thing, and you got to go snail mail right, to everybody, right? And that's what everybody was thinking, but it was beautiful, rich, right? And I said, so we're thinking I remember having this dialogue with Daryl, and I said, we're thinking going, full on indigo machines, multimedia. But I said, what about this internet stuff coming up? The thing is like interesting, but it's ugly, right?
Right.
Really ugly. 12.
It's like no user UX, UI, none of that.
So slow. You got that dial-up modem, right?
Right.
And Daryl said something that's still, stays with me today. He said, "Oh, brother." I said, should we do internet or multimedia, right? And he said, oh, dude, it's a no-brainer. The internet gonna be multimedia. Right. And boom, just that simple thing, light bulb went up in my head. And I said, yes, right. It's just a matter of time that and then you don't have to burn all this stuff and put it in and mail it snail mail, right? So this was the mid-90s was when this was starting to transpire. This was in 90, I think it was in 92, Christmas. Okay. Right? And so that was a Saturday we got together at his house. And then Monday, right away when I came to the office, I told my brother, his partners and my brother Keith, and I said, oh dude, let's go, man. That's the direction we gotta go internet. So we went all in, and I had a employee working with me. And I said, you know anybody doing internet stuff? Yeah. And he said, yeah, my friend Frank, he doing a lot of internet stuff at home. Really? Right. He said, tell him I talk to him. So so somehow he was so busy, but like 2 weeks later he got Frank to come. I met with him. I liked the guy. And Frank was like doing extreme programming. He didn't know what he was doing, but him and his other buddy who was working out of his home, and Frank was working at home. They were collaborating on all these websites that they're developing, right? Wow, and this is like 90, early 93. Yeah. Right? Jeez. Because we went to the New Year's, right? We had the Christmas party. Yeah, right. Did the holidays. Yeah. And then like January or something, I met with Frank. And then Frank, lo and behold, he like, oh yes, I almost finished with this project, and I offered him a job, so he came on. Okay. Dude, boom, he shot us up to the next level. Yeah. So he started doing like website stuff with you guys? Yeah, we started doing internal stuff, and we started doing free things for some of our customers, right? To just get it up to speed. He could do some print stuff too, so he was helping with that. But the goal was to keep pushing the internet. Right. And then so finally we got like our first paying customer, which is the Dolphin Institute out of Kiwalo. They're a nonprofit. They did a lot of. They were actually like a department out of UH that got funded by RCUH.
Okay.
And they were out of the psychology department. So they're actually studying cognitive intelligence, right, of the dolphins. Yeah. Okay. The brain and how the brain works and that kind of. Anyway, so they were the first guys that we did hired us to do a commercial website.
Wow.
And I remember because coming from a graphic design background and the internet how it was back then, I remember launching the site and we were so we were so proud of this website that the homepage downloaded under 3 minutes.
Jeez, yeah. After all the noise.
And it just would go.
Right.
We made it under 3 minutes, right? And who would do that now, right? Wait 3 minutes for a page.
You can see the dolphins slowly appear.
One line at a time, right? Coming down.
Wow.
But it happened, and that was cool, man. That we felt like that was that was late 1993 or even early 1994, somewhere in that range. And so I think maybe Peter Kay and CyberComm was doing stuff before us. Okay. Yeah, but we were right there, kind of drafting him. And he was a big innovator. Okay. I admired him a lot.
Yeah. And so it went from being a graphic design, multimedia.
It began to shift.
Yeah,
right?
And shifted into like website. Yeah. So what was kind of like the next milestone with?
Let me step back a little bit. So what happened was after like the first couple of years, I was just dead bored with like I knew exactly what it was gonna like. I knew the day was gonna be different things, but I knew exactly what was gonna happen, right? Yeah. And I remember getting up in the morning. I said something got to change, and I told my brother we gotta think about the future. We gotta start planning more. We can't just come in here and just do whatever we're doing. Yeah. So we went out I convinced him we went out to Turtle Bay the whole weekend. Yeah. I planned the whole agenda. Yeah. First day we just kind of bonded, had dinner, hung out. And then the next day, all day Saturday, we talked about the business. So the first time, like what are we doing? Where are we gonna go? Right. What are we good at? All those core things, right? Yeah. And where's the market going? And then, you know what? We came out of that intense 3-day retreat. Yeah. The future is going to be digital. It sounds simple. Yeah. But not back then. No. Everybody was mired in paper. No, yeah. Right? You could look around.
Nobody even had a reference for that. Understanding the foresight. Yeah.
Not really, yeah. So we said, that's where we got to go. We got to go all in on digital. And so that opened our mind up. And then my buddy, the Fateful Time, then the internet, he kind of knocked us in that direction. Yeah.
So when was that Turtle Bay?
That was just before. That was 92. That was just before the late. Okay. We probably went on the retreat in October. Yeah. We probably had the Christmas party in December. Okay. And then January we started focusing on on the internet. Yeah. Jeez. And then we launched our first commercial website about a year later. It took us some time. I was learning how to script sites too and all that kind of stuff. So it took some time. And it was hard to get people to do stuff because they all heard about the internet, but nobody knew. There wasn't. I don't think there was critical mass up online yet. So even if you launched something, you'd get visitors, but nothing that impacted the bottom line, right?
Yeah. So, could you already track the traffic during that time?
If you could, we didn't. I didn't know how to. We were just so focused on how to build stuff, right? Yeah. Never mind the feedback.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to launch that, and then I'm sorry, what was your question after that?
So we're talking about the history, the founding of RevaComm. So from the mango tree in Kalihi to you're doing multimedia, heading the internet direction. You're starting to do websites. Got your first client from the Dolphin Institute or whatever it was from UH.
Dolphin Institute.
Yeah. And so what was like the next milestone that you guys hit?
Okay, there's a lot in there. So that was cool. We got that, and then. The next big customer, as I recall, I think there's others in between, but the next one that got our name out there as far as web was Hawaii International Film Festival. Oh, okay. They saw what we're doing, and they said, "Wow, we would love for you guys to help us with our website." I think they had one up; it wasn't very good. Okay. So then they contracted us, small money, but they gave us a lot of free tickets, that kind of stuff, right? Right. And so we did it, but that was so much fun, right? You think about the
creative
content, you had
arts,
beautiful, imagery and
right.
and all that kind of stuff. And so our guys my team poured their heart and soul into working to the night, and we won a lot of awards, the Pele Awards and that kind of stuff. So at the Pele's, we would win for the website, best website. And then so people started to see who we are, and then we attracted the Honolulu Advertiser. So then they said, we want you guys to redo, and that was a big one for us.
Yeah, of course.
Man, let's shoot, man. So that was the next one that got us more exposure.
Were you guys basically one of the first, if not the first?
Peter Kay was hands down. CyberComm. Yeah. He saw the internet early,
right?
And Peter's a visionary in that sense. So so if he probably even influenced how our name, we even changed our name. We were Ito Design Associates, right? And then when we started focusing on the internet and started to see momentum, we said, I think we need a name change, right?
Yeah. Branded.
And I came with all the stuff, and so CyberComm was existing. We became RevaComm, right? Yeah. And it meant basically it's a combination of Revolution Communications. Is what it is. But people like it because they think, people say, I know what rev means, like revelation, right?
Yeah, right.
That's right. It's revelation, right?
Or revving the engine.
Or revenue, right? Revenue, commerce, right?
It's a good name.
People saw a lot of things in it, right?
Yeah.
And so, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So we kept it. The name stayed. And then so we kept going, and then now that was 2004 when we first launched. There's now like 2006. We're doing the advertiser, right? The HIF, and then I saw that if we just kept doing web stuff, just web development, like templated web stuff, it was going to become a commodity real quick, right? And then so I started thinking like, what else? We got to go deeper, right? Yeah. Deeper into the company and the enterprise, or deeper in the stack, right? Yeah. And so I went to UH and I put up like an offer for interns from the computer science department.
Right.
And I got couple of interns that came out, right?
Yeah, awesome.
Brandon Kurisu was one of them, and Jamie Kinoshita was another. And they today they still work together,
right? And
I don't know if you know who Brandon is. Brandon is
I know of,
yeah. So Brandon was young, and Jamie was young interns out of UH computer science, and they were wonderful. Maybe Brandon was computer science. Jamie might have been out of MIS. I forget. But they were so good, solid kids, right? And they started us. Well, I had them as intern, but I also hired this kind of technical guy. He actually had a graphic background, but he loved technical stuff. Yeah. So he had a certain depth of understanding, but not technically, not formally trained or anything. Okay. So he got us. From Frank, he got us to another deeper level, right? As far as coding and understand tech stacks and that kind of stuff. But Brandon and Jamie guys came on and they started understanding how to code better, deeper, right? And these just young interns, right? Coming on. After the internship, I hired them, and then we started to build off of that team, and the momentum grew. Finally, around 1990, like the turn of the century, 98, 99. Hawaii Pacific Health would hire us to do like an intranet. Okay. For that's like, what is that? Right. So this is a website that's private, right? Right. And so we started helping them do that and some other things. So that was cool. Kamehameha Schools came calling, and we started supporting a lot of their initiatives as well. Halekulani Hotel was a big one. Yeah. They saw us winning all these web awards to HIF and stuff like that, and they hired us to redo their website, and we won a lot of awards from that as well, and they were fun to work with too. They even hired us, so Halekulani was really important to get us deeper. They hired us to do not just the marketing, the customer website, but they hired us to do like custom apps, or web apps, like they created a online concierge for their customer.
Yeah.
So you
right. So
and then
guests check in and they had that.
Yeah. So you'd come to the website,
Right.
look for availability. You could see all the marketing stuff, right? The beautiful pictures. And then we tied that. We had a middleware that tied the web inventory to the property management system, right? So we had to build that as well. They made us do that. These are all really new stuff for us.
New stuff.
New stuff. And this is early, right? So a lot of things is not a lot of modules are not there. You got to build everything from scratch.
Yeah.
And then they also made us or had us create a online concierge system, so that not only was there hotel inventory, but there were activity inventory that they decided to put up, but still not all automated. There's a guy in the back managing and loading up, activity, like horseback riding.
Were you guys doing a lot of the hardware stuff as well?
No. We hardly touch the hardware stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all software web. But that was fun. We learned a lot, man. And that was a pretty big contract for us. I think at the time it was under $1 million for us, and when most of our graphic print work was like a few thousand, 10, we're lucky we get a $20,000 contract, right?
It's kind of a no-brainer to head that direction.
Yeah. So all of these are the web was bringing us into bigger projects, more complex things. And then so that was all going well.
So you had Hawaii Film Festival was one of your clients. Hawaii Film Festival, Kamehameha Schools,
Halekulani Hotel. We had did it say Honolulu Advertiser? Did you say that?
Honolulu Advertiser. So basically, you're one of the godfathers of
Pacific
IT.
Health.
in Hawaii.
No, not IT, of the web. That's different, right? Yeah. We were specifically focused web. Yeah. But again, I give Peter Kay a lot of credit for creating a vision in the local community.
Yeah.
And he's still, doing tech stuff, but I don't know specifically what he's doing. But so that was, so this is what, 2000 now? And the
early
.com
2000, right?
Bubble is starting to expand, right? Get to the point. Yeah. And then, I forgot to mention, we got a contract from China.
Oh, no way.
It's the Xinhua news agency out of China. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's, we were, the Xinhua news agency out of China was partnering with a Hong Kong, a brand new Hong Kong company. Okay. The founder had some ties to Hawaii. So that's kind of how we made the connection, right?
Yeah. And or maybe through like East West Center or something like that.
I don't know. No. She was just this really kind of rich woman that had a lot of influence out there. Anyway, so she wanted she had this vision and this idea that like, let's partner with China to provide market data and information on the Chinese market that was starting to early open up, right? Yeah. And so they contracted us to do their American English website, right? And not just a marketing website. We had to figure out with them how to take news that was being uploaded from all the reporters in China, right, in Chinese, right, through a quick translation process, right? And back then it was terrible, right?
I bet.
No automated stuff that did anything good, right? But take them to this workflow process to translate news and information and data that was being reported out of China as fast as possible online through a web process, and then be able to feed that to an international market as fast as possible, right? Because timing is critical, right?
So how did the translation part work?
A lot. It was just a workfall with a lot of humans.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like
that's basically what it was.
Any.
Yeah. It wasn't machine or nothing.
Wow.
It was just a more efficient workflow to the web. Yeah. And then to get it out. And so, but that was a crazy contract.
Was that a big contract?
That was a $2 million contract at the time at the turn of the century. So it was the largest contract that we ever had up until that point. Right. And so all of that was happening, right? All of that was going on. And I was like, oh man, we're up to like 30 people. We were in this office at the AmFac. It was called the AmFac. Now it's called Topa Tower, right? We were right on the bottom of Bishop Street. Had this harbor view, 5,000 square feet, in there. And I rarely got to look out the window.
You're just in it
It's
the
so
whole time.
stressful. Yeah.
I bet.
Every day something happening. More people coming on, and
Right.
so. But at the same time, we decided. I think I jumped ahead. So before that big office, we were growing. We got the China contract and everything. I decided that now it's about time for us to expand out of Hawaii. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I had decided that Silicon Valley was the best place to go.
Well, it makes sense. Yeah,
it makes sense. Like pop into the most competitive area.
Yeah.
Right. But I
that's
guess
where you get all
everybody's going. Yeah. So I went in. I moved up there with one employee in February of 2000.
Oh, okay.
I got a little condo in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then we just worked out. We lived and worked out of that condo. That was the office.
Right.
Right. And then I would pound the pavement. And luckily, my buddy Daryl, who the guy who was working at Netscape, he had connections. So I was talking to him, and he said, "Go see these guys. Go see these guys over there."
Right.
He was super helpful. And then I was able to get some contracts. One of them was NetSuite from Oracle. Right? They were just starting up.
Jeez.
So NetSuite gave us a lot of work. I would just send the work back to Hawaii office, right?
Okay.
And I'd be managing it up there. And then we got a whole bunch of other startups that were still getting funding.
Wow.
But when you look at a map of or a chart of the internet, the growth of the internet and the .com bubble, right? March of 2000 was when was the peak.
Okay.
And then it starts to fall fast.
Yeah.
I got there in February of 2000. Right?
Yeah,
and as things go,
Right.
you only see the surface, right? You don't see the underpinnings of what's going on, right?
Right.
But the next month, the bubble already had burst, right? But I was able to get some contracts.
Right.
People were still optimistic. Every restaurant I went to, seriously, on the right, on the left, behind me, everybody's talking .com ideas, right? You can just hear somebody pitching an investor, whatever, in the city and down in the valley, you wouldn't see no vacancy, no office for rent. Not everything's taken up. Wow. Right? In a matter of 6 months,
all of it
popping up, all of it, and you hear nobody talking about .com stuff in the restaurants. The thing I learned about that was how quickly the tide pulls out. You don't realize it. Things can go like that, and it'll peak up at the end, but man, it cliffs when it goes out.
Right.
So,
but that's an interesting time for you to get into it.
Super interesting. I got to see the buzz, right? I got to visit Google campus. I got to see all the places that were getting so famous right at the time. Yeah. Not Google, sorry. Google wasn't really big yet. It was like Apple campus and some other things. But anyways, was just fun. It was exciting. Yeah. A lot of things going on. But I was after all the work had dried up, I was super stressed and nothing. So I had to let everybody go. My employee decided to stay there, right? Didn't want to go back to it because she had a lot of opportunities. So we said goodbye, and then I went back to Honolulu. Now the Honolulu office was still buzzing. Okay. Right. Yeah. And this is where I learned, how the economic wave comes from the East Coast, hit the West, and then eventually hits Hawaii. Yeah. Faster now, but slower back then. And so I go back to Hawaii. Yeah. I've seen everything that's going on. Right. But I'm not smart enough to understand that the waves coming across the Pacific, right? Right. And so I commit to this 5,000 square foot office up in Topata I told you about, because we just signed the China contract. Yeah. We got Halekulani. We got all these big contracts going on. I think I can see kind of far into the future. And so I commit to this 5,000 square foot office in Topata, right? High end in downtown. Things go okay for another year because we have those contracts. But even then, now the tsunami wave kind of comes and hits Hawaii. Right. And then nobody wants to invest in anything internet. Right. And they either cut everything or they substantially reduce their investment. Halekulani pulls back. Right. All our key customers start to pull back.
So you guys had ongoing retainer type of work with them?
We never had retainers. I wish we had more retainer stuff back then, recurring stuff, but it was all contract based. This is the set amount, and we deliver it, and we bill as we hit milestones, right?
Right.
But all of that stuff had started to dry up, and I remember reporting to my staff, every month how much negative we were this month.
Jeez.
That wasn't helpful, right?
Yeah.
But we were bleeding red ink for a long time. This is like early, I would say, by March 2001, we were in the red every month.
Jeez.
Yeah, every month in the red, and it didn't come out of the red until. I didn't turn black until probably consistently anyway.
Yeah.
2003, something like that. 2 years later.
Gosh.
Yeah.
How did you guys float that for so long?
No, it was just a cut back.
Right.
Cut staff. Again, we went from 30 employees down to 4.
Gosh.
Right. And then I took huge pay cuts. Right. Staff had to take pay cuts. I'm amazed that these guys who stayed with me. Right. They're so awesome. And then I had a home. I took out all the equity.
Yeah.
Threw it all back.
Yeah. Into the business.
Into the business.
Jeez.
All in, right? That's how we are as entrepreneurs.
Right.
We're not diversified. We're concentrated in investments.
Exactly.
Right? We hopefully make our wealth. We live or die on concentration, not diversification. Right? After we somehow, maybe get our ROI from the concentrated strategy, we diversify.
Yeah.
But I was so concentrated and threw everything back into the company.
Right.
And it was a tough time, man. I remember, my pants were getting all tattered. I'm serious. Eating, and I'm Japanese, so I love natto. Right?
Yeah.
Every night I was eating a can of sardine and natto and rice.
Yeah.
I couldn't go out. I couldn't spend out. All I was doing was I would prioritize my debt, and I would have this punch list, man. I would once I paid off IRS, boom, I grade them all out. Next, I gotta pay, payroll taxes, bump, and all kinds of stuff, right?
So that period, 2001 to 2003, that was a real testing
time. That was
a
deep valley.
Yeah. Deep valley, you had to throw everything back into it.
Everything.
That was bootstrapping the entrepreneurs.
All in. My brother and I wasn't getting along. It's not just financial. It's shame, and you have disagreements, right?
Yeah.
Arguments and emotional. It's all together, right? All in one thing.
Right.
My brother decided to leave and then go teach at UH, right?
Yeah.
And this story will come back. This is a fateful decision he made.
Yeah,
right? So he decided to leave.
Yeah.
And then he got a job, assistant professor teaching graphic design at UH. Okay. I was there to, now my job was to turn the company around, right? Pay off the debt, turn it around.
Right.
And it was tough. But I would come in the morning. My employees was over there. The web guy that her first hire, he would go, and then had a few other employees, and he would look at me. He's like, "Oh, the phone not working." He'd point at the phone. Said,
no,
the phone not working. Right?
Yeah. I gotta pay the
phone bill. I go back up. I go get some cash.
Go
down to Hotel, pay off my bill.
Pay the bill. Yeah.
And I come back. He goes,
Jeez.
Phone working. It was that kind of time was tough. And so slowly but surely I started, paying off the debt. And things started to kind of stabilize.
Okay.
I'd say by 3-4, we stopped the bleeding, but we were barely making profit. And then, but 2005, 2006, then we started to get traction again.
Okay.
It took a while. It took like 5 years really to get through that valley and start to feel like, okay, we're finally getting into the clear here. It was a long process. Like I said, I like sardines every night and tattered clothes, man.
That's the local Japanese version, of rice and beans.
Exactly.
Natto and sardines.
Who's that guy?
Ray Ramsey.
Rice and beans. Natto and sardines. It rhymes. I love that. So that I did the Ramsey program, the Japanese style. I got through it. And then so my brother was teaching at UH, and he called me in 2006. He knew we had internship program still going on. And he said, "El, you got to look at this kid, man, in my class. He's in my graphic design. He's like the top designer in my class, but he's a computer science major.
Oh, wow.
So he's just minoring in design. And the two schools never even talk
Okay.
back then. I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
how did he do that?
Yeah.
Like, he just would take classes? Can he do that?
Right. Yeah.
And then later on, I found out he made that happen.
Okay.
He
bridged
go,
that. Yeah.
go talk to the whoever you needed to talk to, and ask them and beg them
Right.
to allow him to take graphic design classes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So amazing. You can see like where this guy is at already, right? And so I said, "Oh, bro, there was no animal like that out in the market that did both."
Okay.
And so I said, "Send them, man." And so he came over, loved them, and then so I told Brett, this is Brett Kimura. I told Brett, we don't do internships in the middle of the semester. So I like you. Come back next semester. I'll give you an internship.
Yeah.
And he looked kind of bummed. I said, you okay with that? He goes, he tells me, how about if I start now, I can do a half internship, and the next semester I can do another full internship. And I looked at him and said, my brother did tell you it's an unpaid internship, right?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. Okay, you cool with that? He goes, yeah, I'm good.
Jeez.
I said, okay, come in Monday. That was Friday. He came in Monday.
Yeah.
And then he was just so amazing. I mean, he worked so hard. He was smart. I could tell when I explained business concepts to him. He asked the right question. He got it right. And he could understand not just graphic design. He could understand business ideas and principles.
Wow.
Plus, he was taking computer science, so he could
the technical side, the art side. Wow.
All of that, right?
That's rare.
In there. Yeah, he was a special guy. Still is special today. So he was a big impact. So from 2006, with that skill and knowledge, I believe we were able to get more stuff. So the next big one was City and County of Honolulu. They wanted to have us redo or develop their online property management system. So like it's a place where they had long lines always coming out, and when it was time to pay your property tax and file exemptions or file appeals, right? Everybody would go to their office and you would stand in long lines,
for
right?
hours,
And then the director, a very visionary guy, Gary Kuokawa, he said, "Oh man, we cannot keep going like this. We gotta use technology." So he hired us, and Brett was instrumental in putting that all together. So long and short of, we eventually created an awesome site for them, for the city and county, where everybody could just online go in. You could opt for find your property. You find them which ones you want to receive digital
or paper.
Digital paper, right? Because everybody was being mailed this stuff, right? So they had to pay the printer. And so now you could opt out of that and just get digital email, boom, and that thing comes to you, right? And then with an attachment. And then if you don't like what the thing, you can go and file an appeal online, and then you can also file all your exemptions that you want online. So that then you go back to the office and there's no line, right? And that just transformed it, right? But Brett was key in putting that and delivering that system. And then we just started to grow from there again. Something that was different was that we really started to try to go deeper into the enterprise, right? And that's the kind of stuff we wanted to do more. It wasn't a phrase back then, but it was digital transformation is really what we wanted to do. And so Servco then hired us to redo their whole wholesale site. So we created this, and Brett again, came through with the team, led the whole thing, and that was an awesome site where you can go and configure all the Tacoma, you know how much variation the Tacoma had, right?
Which year, which make, model, all of that.
Long cab, small cab, long bed,
and especially here, every other person has a Tacoma,
right? It's very, very highly trafficked. But so we did that, launched it. That was another cool site, but we kept going deeper and more sophisticated. Right about this time, Higher Ground, right? I missed the whole higher ground thing. So right at 2006 when Brett came on, Dennis Nakamoto, who I think Dennis was a founding member, right? Dennis kept, like I said, pestering me. So finally gave in. Dennis is my good friend, so I can say that. And then I finally gave in and joined, right? And man, it was, looking back on it, you know, there's so many key distinctions that I learned out of higher ground. Right? That 2020 is hindsight. Hindsight is 2020, right? I look how important those key distinctions that I learned helped me, knock me just in the right direction, right? And led me to, you know, where ultimately I was able to sell the company, right? But without higher ground, man, I mean, I don't know where I would be. And that was a fateful. So 2006 was a good year. Brett Kimura came.
You're in the black now, getting the big contracts.
I joined ground hire. I didn't think I had the time or the money to do it. That's why I was resisting a lot. Right. But Dennis was a good friend, and if he liked it so much, and I trusted him, so I decided to jump in, and it was the best decision I think I made, right? Looking back on things. Met a lot of great businessmen, and I could see how they were thinking, but they were also Christ-centered. Right. And so that just, you know, I'd given my life to Christ in that downturn, right? Because I was so desperate. Right? I didn't mention that. And I went to church, and so I met Dennis at a small group, right? That was a Christian businessman small group for Grace Bible, Honolulu, Grace Bible Pro Side. Yeah, and so that's how I met Norman and Dennis. Right. But Dennis invited me, and then you know, man, ground hire really nurtured the seed that God had planted back when I gave my life to Christ. Grew it. It even I didn't think how business and faith can be in harmony, right? I thought it was so different, separate, right? You do, you know, your faith thing and you do your business thing, right? But higher ground unified it for me, right? And brought it together and made it one path. Right?
It's one and the same.
One and the same, and that really helped me to bring a lot of my life together too, right? I was very I was a very impetuous kind of guy growing up, middle child. Right? And I would just jump into things, right? And like that crazy risk taking, right? And that was with relationships too, right? And so I could never really have a long-term relationship. I was in and out a lot of relationships. And I still wasn't married. I was like mid-40s already, right? Right. And so it was all of that. Ground hire actually helped me not just with business. And Norman helped me with my who I was as a person, right? And grounded in Christ. And I began to give my life to Christ and be obedient to Him. And that obedience did so much, man. And it helped me with my customers. It made me do so many things better and right, you know, with them. And then now the relationships that I was forming. Eventually, I met my wife, and then I could commit, you know, to that relationship. We've been married now 15 years, right? So all of that ground high, I can't say enough about 2006. That was a good year.
Such a pivotal
time. Now, where are we? Coming back to
so we ended at about 2006 was like a big turning point for you. You joined ground hire. Brett came on, in the black now.
In the black.
So we're in 2006. Tell me about from 2006 when turning point and everything, and then now you're getting a lot more traction to where you are today. So we're getting a lot of traction, and then I hope I can tell this couple of stories within the time we got left. But right around 2008, we got a first DoD contract through a connection that they were looking for local IT companies, software companies to join a kind of big contract. And so there were like 4 or 5 contractors that they brought onto this large Navy contract. And then, but man, that
customer was the most difficult customer I ever had. It was so difficult.
Wow.
But it was a time that I still kind of needed the work, right? I felt, right? Because we were in the black, but we're barely in the black and still moving forward. And this client or this contract began to account for like 50% of our revenue.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a huge amount.
Yeah.
So it was important, but it was so difficult. And he I was a Christian now. I was trying to live right, but every week he would expect, not require, but expect the contractors to take him out golfing.
Jeez.
Right. Every once in a while, Korean bars. All the girls sitting down drinking. Right. Paying. Like $5,000 bills. Right. And this is highly illegal stuff as a government contractor. Right. And so really was weighing on me. And then what was the thing that kind of brought it to a head was there was a request from the admiral in the Indo-PACOM, and he said he wanted a online system or a software that helps them manage all the naval facilities in the Indo-PACOM. And so they tasked it to our customer and so he called me and said, any system like that, anybody doing stuff like that? I said, and I just happened to know somebody. I just met with them and I became friends with the owner. They were doing the exact same thing for all the Army in the Pacific, and they were well on their way doing it. Right? Yeah. And so I said, I know somebody. Let me go talk to them first. So I went to talk to her, this business owner, and I told her there's this big opportunity. But are you interested? She goes, yeah, I'm interested. So I made her sign a non-circumvent agreement. Okay. Right. Yeah. So she signed it. Yeah. I set up the demo. They liked it. Yeah. They set up a second demo with the Admiral's team. They loved it. Jeez. Right. And then I get a call from my friend, the contractor, saying, I just thought I should let you know that your customer is trying to call us directly. Oh, right? Yeah. Same guy. Yeah. Right. Same guy. I'm not surprised, right? Yep. But I'm pissed, right? Yeah, of course. Right. And because I brought him this thing and it's proven. It's a local company. He loved using local companies, right? And so I called him and said, hey, I heard you calling the contractor directly. And he said some kind of slight comment, and I said, I want to meet face to face with you. And he set it up for like the end of the week. This is beginning of the week, right? Yeah. Make me wait. And so the whole week I'm like tossing and turning, right? Because I know this is gonna ruin the relationship if I how to deal with it, right? How to deal with it delicately. I'm trying to figure out in my head, my mind, be strategic about I'm gonna lose 50% of my revenue if I piss him off, right? I know what he wants, and it's not what I want, right? Kind of thing, right? And so every night I'm exhausted already from all the other shenanigans that's constantly going on. This is only half of it, not even half of it, right? Yeah. And then so finally Friday comes, but Thursday I'm sleeping, I'm tossing and turning, and then that still small voice at 2 a.m. in the morning speaks to me. Says, you know why you cannot sleep? And I answer in my own way, why? He said, because you holding on too tightly to the world, to everything, right? Jeez. And he said, do you trust me? And I just said, yeah, I trust you, God. And then as soon as I said that, man, I knew exactly what the solution was. It was so clear in my head. I was sitting there turning it. Like, what if this happens? What if this happens? And then, and then every situation I turned it was the right thing. And so I slept like a baby right after that. Seriously, I just went knocked out. Slept like a baby. I got up at 8 o'clock. Headed straight to Pearl Harbor. Went straight into his office at 9, which is the time for the meeting. He was sitting there like that with his he's ready, ready for a fight, right? Expecting me. Sat down in front of him. I pulled out the non-circumvent agreement out of my pocket and I just tore it up in front of him. I threw it on the desk in front of him. He just looked at it. I said, this is the agreement. Now you can go directly and do whatever you want. You can go directly to them. RevaComm's not in the way. And I said, and he's just like shocked looking at me. And I said, just do me a favor. Don't mess with them. just treat them fairly. They're good folks, right? And he just, stood there looking at me, not a word.
Yeah.
And I said, "Is there anything else you need?" And he goes, he took his hand out. I took it, shook his hand, turned around, walked out. And as I was walking, I was going, "Hold on,
what did I just do?"
What did I just do? But then I felt a sense of peace. That was the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. I felt anyway from the night before it was the right thing to do. But there was a little bit of that fear coming in. I never saw another penny from that customer after that. Yeah. He went directly to them.
He went direct.
They gave them most of the work and other stuff. Right. Funny thing, the very next year, we increased in revenue.
Jeez.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
How you take a step of faith like that, and you do what's right, and you trust God, and man, he came through.
Jeez.
For a little while, it was difficult.
Yeah.
Right? But amazing how new stuff came. Right. And the very next year, without the 50%,
you lost 50, and now you made more.
We increased. Yeah, the revenue. So it was an amazing thing and it built so much things in me. It helped me let go of a lot of other things, actually. The fact that I was holding on to a lot of things. So I began to enable my staff more. Right? Yeah. Let go of more responsibility to them and let them rise up more.
Yeah.
Right. And I think in my relationships, I was able to let go of, I don't know what, that was holding me back from commitment and that kind of stuff. And I really feel that helped me become open to that long-term relationship and be able to let go of, I don't know, a lot of things from my past maybe. Yeah. So it was amazing what God had done during that time. Yeah. Wow. So that was a pivotal time. And so we got through that and then we grew, and then Brett was there jamming. And then about that time, I told Norman Katayama, because I was meeting with him, I said, God gave me a dream or vision that he was finally going to take us out of the valley that we've been in for so long. And he's going to make us climb a mountain. And it's not in my vision, in my dream, it's not a small mountain. It's this, I cannot see the top. It's this big, like Mount Everest kind of mountain, right? It's not like Ko'olau's or like something like that. And he said, "Wow, interesting. I think you're right. I think God's going to do something big." This is like 2012 already, And then so we kept going, and then we started to get traction, and we had some cash reserves. And so 2017, we decided to try to break out of the Hawaii market again. Yeah. Right. And so we thought, like, how are we going to do it? I'm not going to do it like the last time, just jump into Silicon Valley. I need a strategy. Yeah. Right. So I said, well, we got a lot of DoD funds coming into the island. So let's go target DoD. Let's pivot and let's stop being the large scale custom website guys. Let's become the digital transformation company, right? Focus on the federal government. Yeah. So we did our branding, we retrained our guys, we focused our target audience, and started going after the federal government right at around 2017, 18, around there. Okay. And as plans often go, they always take longer, right, than expected. Right. So 18 months into that plan, $500,000 in negative again. Jeez. And I was thinking,
here we go again.
Here we go again, right? Yeah. But this time was different. I had God, I had a wife. I had a lot more faith. I just kept praying, and God kept telling, stay the course. Yeah. Stay the course, press in. Yeah. But I need you to surrender to me, right? And so, what do you want me to do, God? And I was running away from Pastor Randy, who's a praise and worship leader at a church. Right. Yeah. He kept asking me to do praise and worship for like a few years, right? I said, I don't have time. Yeah. And in the midst of all this challenge, I told him, okay, it's time. I'm gonna step in. So I stepped in. My wife and I was doing praise and worship with the team over there. I volunteered to do parking security, right? And then God said, "That's good, but you need to sacrifice something that you gotta sacrifice, right? That you like, that you love too much." And it was alcohol, right? I was drinking more than I should, and I was more was it reliant on it than
Okay.
than
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I wanted to.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, not that, God. Right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
he said, that's it. That's what you got to do. I said, okay. And then so I went just cold turkey. I stopped
Jeez.
drinking. And then that's what I was doing. That was my way to deal with it. In the past, I would have just like been working harder,
Right.
spending more
right.
time at the office.
Yeah,
Instead,
yeah.
I kept enabling.
Yeah.
I kept pressing into God,
Mm.
right? And hearing his word. And God kept saying, you're on the right track. I'm just pruning you to be ready for the mountain that I told you about earlier.
Right.
And so I believed that. I had faith in that. I claimed it. And so we kept going. That was at the lowest, that was early 2000. And then lo and behold, like a ray of light, we got a phone call from Hickam Air Force Base. They'd seen our website,
Right.
and there's a captain running an innovation lab out there. He said, oh, you guys doing exactly the kind of stuff that we want. I don't see anybody else in Hawaii who does it. Would you like to partner with us on a proposal for a small business innovation research grant, right? That we want to get to help transform software in the Air Force. Dude, we said that's exactly where we want to go, and that's the exact client that we want to get at, right?
Right.
And he said the only thing is that the proposal is due in 2 days. Right? I was like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
And then Brett, as always, he told me, it ain't gonna be pretty, man. I said, can you do it, Brett? I said, it ain't gonna be pretty, but I'll get it done. He did. That was a Tuesday. We got the call. Friday, he submitted it. Sunday, I went to church.
Yeah.
With my wife. I went early. And then Pastor Randy was up there warming up on his keyboard.
On the keys,
He never does this. And he saw us walk in and he stopped, right? Came off the stage. He walked. I said, Al, I was praying for you guys this week. And then as I was praying, God told me, this is not kidding, right? The only guys who knew about this so far now is me, Brett, and my wife.
Right.
We didn't tell anybody, probably because it was so short too. Pastor Randy says, I was praying for you and God said, you guys gonna be doing something with a research lab? I'm not kidding, right? And I looked at him, I looked at my wife, my wife looked at me, he's like, what? I said, how do you know that? We just submitted a proposal on Friday. And it's just us that know, and you now, and God. And he looks at me and goes, that's it? Yeah. You're gonna get it. And he dropped the mic, turned around, went back up, getting ready for service, right?
That's the Holy Spirit internet right there.
No kidding. And the whole sermon, the whole service, I was just like there, like, wow, God, you're so good, right? I probably was weeping, you know? But it was amazing that he could speak that word and he could see it. And Pastor Randy is prophetic, right? He's seen as a local prophet, so he could see it, and he spoke that into me. Yeah. A month later, we got awarded of the first phase one of the contract, $50,000, really small, right? But 3 months later, we got awarded a phase two, $2.3 million. Yeah. And in the following 3 years, off of that same contract, we got awarded phase three contracts equaling over $500 million.
Say that again.
Over $500 million of contracts on the federal government.
$500 million
from that $50,000 contract.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's US dollar. That's not rupiah. Yeah.
US dollars, dude. It was. I was like, I'm amazed today. The growth. We went from 16 people in 2019 to 200 people when they sold in 2023. Gosh. All we were doing was hiring, you know. Wow. And servicing the clients. Yeah. Center for Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Medicaid, Medicare Services was one of our biggest clients. Jeez. They serve 170 million people, right? But we're helping them move to the cloud and all that. So anyway, that I say all that not to impress anybody, but just to show how amazing God is, right? You know, and for me, I had to learn how to be obedient because that impetuous child, right, who I was. Through the process of giving my life to Christ and the nurturing that Ground Hire did, I'm so glad I was planted in good ground, right? They were such good people, men of Christ and business owners. Man, they really nurtured it and brought me to that point where, you know, we could handle something that God finally knew that, okay, you know, I think he's ready for something like that, right? Yeah. And then so 2003 we sold the company, and
2023 you sold.
2023 October 31st, Halloween Day.
Yeah.
2023. Yeah, so it's been 2 years, 1 month, couple days.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Not that I'm counting, right? You know.
Yeah.
But it's been awesome, and now a lot of the time that I spend is serving the church. You know, taking what God has given and doing stuff like this, like doing stuff with you, Norman, ground hire, and there's so much need in the community, especially in the community that I grew up. You know, I wanna be able to use that to make a difference for God, right? In that community.
Yeah,
but
I love it.
That's pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is part 1 of a 5-part series we should do, but this is a good way to get started.
It is. Thank you.
So I guess in wrapping up, you went from the mango tree, right? Starting your business under a mango tree in the back of your parents' place. To
office in Kalihi,
right? To Silicon Valley, to 30 employees back down to 4, and then ramping back up again from 16 to very quickly 200. And you've had some incredible clients, and ultimately the U.S. military.
And Center for Medicare services.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Is there any last word or piece of advice that you want to leave for our business owners watching?
Wow, that's looking back on my life, you know, obviously God made a big difference, right? And just being obedient, I think, to God. For me, it was obedience. I really had to surrender my life, and just be able to, like, not let my will, you know, take over, right? And that and we truly ask God, like, what is it, God, that you need me to do, and be obedient. That's what really helped me to prepare my life and myself for the blessings that God had in store for me. And he had a lot of blessings in store for me. So I'm so glad I was able to do it. And a good wife. My wife, I tell you, my wife's, God speaks to my wife many times. So having those two things, being obedient, ground hire, the 3 things, you know, having a heart for God, having a good ground, which to me is a good circle of people that you planted in, right? And ground hire is that ground that I was planted in, for sure. It nurtured me from a business standpoint and a spiritual standpoint, and having a good wife who keeps you on track. Those are the 3 things.
Awesome.
For me.
Well,
it was fun.
You.
You're welcome, man.
Thank you, Elden. So we had Elden Ito today for episode 5 of the Ground Hire podcast, and Elden is the founder of RevaComm. Also, we consider you a founding member of Ground Hire, and I consider him now the godfather of digital transformation here in Hawaii. And he shared with us from humble roots of starting under a mango tree in Kalihi to exiting for a decent amount of money, you know, and selling, with clients from Kamehameha schools to the U.S. government and everything in between. So thank you for joining. Thank you so much, Elden. Appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Pleasure being here.